The Gwaltney Group.
The following is a sponsored program paid for by Robin Gwaltney. Gwaltney Group. RE/MAX results. Welcome to Rochester Real Estate, featuring Robin Gwaltney from Gwaltney Group RE/MAX Results and Andy Brownell. Here's Andy Brownell on Rochester's News Talk, 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
Good morning. Welcome to Saturday. Andy Brownell on News Talk, 1340 KROC AM, 96.9 FM. Robin Gwaltney on assignment this weekend. So sitting in her place, Elizabeth Birch. Good morning, Elizabeth.
Good morning, Andy. Thanks so much for having me. Yes, Robin is in Croatia.
Oh, wow.
I know. So she's having an amazing time, and I'm happy to sit in for her. What a gift. I've never been there, obviously, but I've heard it's a beautiful place. You know, I think it's a little underrated. I think it's a gorgeous place to visit. I think it's affordable, more affordable, I should say, right? It's still a European vacation, but it seems like it's a really, really, really nice place to visit. So I'm excited to hear all about it.
Yeah. So, yeah, she'll have a lot of stories to tell next Saturday when we get back together again. But you are on the hot seat today.
I am.
And you contacted me beforehand, and you wanted to talk about what I always emphasize is the partial federal government shutdown,
right?
And how it could or might impact real estate transactions.
Sure. So, you know, it can be a really scary topic, right, when you hear the government shutdown. And I want to relieve everyone's minds that it could cause slight delays here and there for we should say VA buyers. FHA seems to be okay. And then the USDA, which is rural development. So if you're buying a home that's considered a rural area, we have a really, really, really fantastic government funded program that is USDA. And that means you can find a home in one of these rural areas. You can avoid a down payment completely, which is huge. And a lot of times you have some help with the PMI as well. So it's a really, really, really awesome opportunity if you can find, if you're looking for a hobby farm that's a little bit out of town or whatnot. And in Minnesota, we have so many little towns that are considered rural areas that definitely look into this option. If you are thinking of buying a home or you don't have the down payment enough saved up, definitely look into these. Ask our team about these options. Make sure that you're doing your homework because they are really, really, really outstanding.
Okay, you mentioned you call them the A loans, so obviously
I said
FHA.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, FHA. We have FHA, we have VA, or we have USDA. The USDA loan is the one that's the rural development.
Okay, well, maybe just to start out with, if folks aren't aware of these mortgage programs, tell us a little bit about them.
Sure.
Maybe start with the FHA.
Yeah, so FHA is a really nice loan option. It's a very popular program, especially for first-time home buyers. Now conventional is kind of competing a little bit with that in terms of the down payment. So, a few years back, FHA was known for the lowest down payment that you would need option, right? It's a 3.5% down payment. Now conventional loans are actually offering for first-time home buyers 3% for a down payment. So just wanted to throw that in there so that everyone does understand that. But another great thing to FHA is you can have a little bit lower credit. So if you have a lower credit score, this could be an option for you. You only have 3.5% to put down. Definitely look into this one. But during the shutdown for this one, it may be a little bit slower. It looks like it's kind of business as usual. Closings aren't being delayed at this point. So I would not worry too much if you are currently under contract of an FHA loan. Okay, so rest easy there.
Is it a situation if you're already in the pipeline, things kind of just go boom, boom, boom down the line, but would it impact you if you're a first-time applicant for an FHA loan?
I don't think so for the FHA.
Oh, okay.
It says some things are moving a little bit slower, like government insurance endorsements, but I don't think that's going to slow the process for you. I wouldn't be too worried there at all.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, rest assured that FHAs are still moving forward. No problem.
And of course the VA loans, which I don't know. I find it such an important benefit for those folks who have served our country.
We love our veterans. I think that it's incredible that they do have this option. I'm really grateful that the government does allow this. And so the VA loans, for people who do not understand it, is that they are a zero down payment for our veterans, right? So, and they usually can waive the PMI as well. So it's a really nice option. It allows our veterans to buy a home without having to have a down payment. So we love this option. The only thing that looks like it might be kind of slowing down here is getting the certificate of eligibility. So if you are a veteran and you wanted to use your veteran loan option, your VA loan option, then you do have to get a certificate of eligibility. And that's what's probably going to just be delayed a little bit. And so keep that in mind when you're working with your agent. They'll be able to explain all of this to you. And if you're working with our team, obviously we will as well. We just probably cushion a little bit more, maybe instead of doing 6 weeks, we do 8 weeks for closing. And then you can do on or before, right? Write that into your contract. And so if it does speed up again, if things get back on track, then you can close earlier. So we have all of these little tricks up our sleeve to make sure that you're still getting closed on time.
I imagine a lot of veterans already have that certificate of eligibility. That
you'd be surprised. You would be surprised. It really depends on how long they've been out of service, all of those things. So I've worked with several veterans that still needed to get that put in place. Okay. And your lender can help you with that too. So
because I know it applies to other
afraid.
Discounts as well that they can take advantage of if they have that certificate.
Yes. Definitely make sure that you have that. It depends on when you were released and all of those things and
sure.
When you got them. So, yeah.
And you mentioned the USDA loan, and I'll be honest, that's one I don't have a lot of knowledge about.
You're not alone. You're not alone. I feel like we shed a ton of light on this, and which is really, really, really sad because we live in a state where we have 3 major cities, right? We have St. Paul, we have Minneapolis, we have Rochester, right? And then surrounding those 3 big cities are all of these smaller towns that are thriving, have great school districts. I mean, my daughter goes to one in Stewartville, right on the southwest side or I should say south side of Rochester. And we absolutely love that she's there. And a majority of these small towns can have access to the USDA loans. So it needs to be considered a rural area. It's something that you could look up even on your county's website to see if it's considered. And if so, then hopefully your agent is telling you that's an option. It doesn't work for everyone, right? But you could get into a home without a down payment. So it's a really, really, really nice program. Now, these ones are the ones that are the most affected. So the offices may pause on new approvals. So when you were asking me about FHA, people who are getting in their applications and whatnot, would that affect that? No for FHA, but yes for USDA. So these ones might be kind of paused completely until we get things rolling back in the government side of things. Okay. Yes.
So so you could live within the city limits of one of these smaller towns if it happens to fall into this classification and still qualify.
Absolutely. So I think it's an incredible option for those in Minnesota, for majority of our areas in Minnesota. So definitely if you haven't learned about this option before and you're thinking, oh my gosh, maybe I can be a homeowner now. Maybe if I really did want to live in an area that was more rural anyways, I wanted to start a hobby farm, I wanted to live on some acreage, definitely explore this option with your lender.
Oh, interesting. Now more and more as the city grows, Rochester specifically, for me, where I'm at in the city on the southern side of it, the drive to Stewartville is probably shorter than it is to northwest Rochester. I
know. You just, it depends on where you're located for sure. Yeah. For sure. I just thought it was so interesting because when I moved here, 5 years ago, I came from Michigan. I came from Grand Rapids, Michigan. We just didn't have all of these little small towns. But Minnesota is so unique in that aspect that we have so many options outside of those bigger cities.
Absolutely. Well, Elizabeth, we need to take a quick break. We'll continue talking. We're talking about specifically the partial government shutdown and the, I guess, minimal impacts on the real estate market at this point. Back in a moment with, again, Elizabeth Birch with Gwaltney Group on News Talk, Gwaltney Group Remax Results. I better get that right. Robin will chew me out. On News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
We'll be right back with Robin Gwaltney and Andy Brownell on Rochester Real Estate. This is News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96. Welcome back to Rochester Real Estate with Robin Gwaltney from Gwaltney Group Remax Results and Andy Brownell on Rochester's News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
Welcome back. News Talk 1340 KROC AM 96.9 FM. Saturday morning talking real estate. Robin Gwaltney on assignment in Croatia, I guess, but in her stead, Elizabeth Birch with Gwaltney Group Remax Results. And we've been talking about the partial government shutdown. And what you're telling me, Elizabeth, is other than the USDA loans, it's almost business as usual.
Yes, yeah. So the bigger picture, Andy, is just FHA's business as usual, kind of maybe a little bit slower. VA is still moving with minor hiccups, right, with that certificate of eligibility that could possibly just be delayed a little bit. But yeah, the USDA short pause, then back on track probably once funding resumes. So none of these are deal killers, right? If USDA may take a little bit longer, but just delays. So, in real estate, timing matters, but so does perspective.
Yeah, when you were saying that on the USDA, instead of a 6-week closing schedule, you might go out to 8 weeks. Yeah. I'm thinking, I love to use the term back in the day, an 8-week closing schedule would be pretty aggressive. And now
I know things
doesn't seem to be the case.
Yes, things have definitely moved in timing. So the average time that it even takes to close an FHA, I mean, sometimes we say 6 weeks, but a lot of times lenders can get those closed in 30 days. Conventional's 30 days. And just so you guys know, too, if you're going the conventional route, you will not be affected whatsoever. Obviously, It's just the government-backed one. So have no fear there. Keep staying in the market. Your home dreams are still achievable.
And most importantly, if you are in the process and you're hearing, the doom and gloom news from the headlines about this partial government shutdown, what you're telling me is, take that stress off the table.
Yes, let's remove that stress, guys. Let's remove that stress. So I just think it's an important topic to touch on so that it's not doomsday. Things are still going to be happening. It may be delayed, not stopped. So keep at it. Just be, if you have questions, please talk to your agents. If you have questions, if you're thinking about selling or thinking about buying, call our team. We'd love to help you. Put your mind at ease, let you know that we're here to be with you every step of the way.
And if I gave you that call and I was interested in selling or buying, obviously the USDA loan is one that if you're looking at a smaller town, hopefully you're going to ask, hey, am I eligible for this? But how do you go through, I guess, the process of deciding which type of loan is best for each circumstance?
That's a really, really, really good question, and that's more directed probably to a lender that could answer that in detail. What I can do is more of the bigger picture. So it just depends on how much money you have saved down, right? If you had the minimum that you can have for a down payment for a new home is 3%, right? So and that depends on your credit score as well. So there's all these things that come into play. There's your credit score. There's your debt to income that you have. There is your down payment amount. And then the interest rate then affects all of those things too. So, it really depends on having a good lender in your corner so that they can kind of talk to you more about what your bills are each month and what's a comfortable monthly payment. And they kind of work backwards to get you into a correct purchase price. And then figure out what the terms will work best for, your credit score and how much money you have down and where you want to be monthly payment. So there's a lot that's involved in that. So the key is really just getting in touch with a really good lender.
Is there an advantage over the government subsidized or backed programs, might be a better way to term it, going the conventional loan route?
So conventional is, it's an easier route, right? But it usually comes along with having a really good credit score, or a medium credit score, right? So if you're struggling, let's say 10 years ago, you had, an eviction, or you had, some troubles and your credit was affected and it's not quite where you need to be, FHA would be a good opportunity for you to see if that's a good fit. But conventional, it's just, there's not as many stipulations, right? So with the FHA loans, things you want to look for if you're an FHA buyer is peeling paint on windows, or if there's a railing on certain steps, because they really look for those things and those key safety items. Make sure they're in place for FHA. So they can just be a little bit more prickly in terms of what the home's condition is. When it's FHA versus conventional. And I should say that for VA too, they're pretty strict about their safety requirements as well. So,
okay. And that's kind of built into the inspection process, I suppose. Yeah. But
you know what? When you're actually just looking for homes, it's really important if you are working with an FHA buyer, right? Or if you are an FHA buyer, to have your agent kind of inform you on what those key items are to look for. So they don't stop the process, or you understand, hey, there's peeling paint on these. We're going to have to attack that before the inspection happens because they'll call it out, or we'll need to have it fixed during the inspection. So, or maybe this house just isn't a good fit. It's not going to fly for FHA if there's a lot of work that needs to be done to it. So, those are important things to be looking for while you're touring homes well.
And that just underlines the importance of having an experienced realtor like you or Robin or any member of the Gwaltney Group team to guide you through this process, because
sure.
I would have been clueless. I would have looked at a window. Of course you would have, right?
The general public is clueless. That's why it's so important to have an expert behind you 100% of the way. So it's such a good thing to know if you're going to be an FHA buyer versus a conventional buyer. If you're a VA buyer, what's the things to look for in a home, and what could be possible problems? So yeah, we'd love to help you if you're thinking about buying and selling. And if you just have some questions on if programs are going to be helpful for you and what you think could be a good fit. I have clients that call me all the time that kind of wish I was a lender, because they ask me a lot of the lender questions. And I answer as many as I can. But again, I'm not legally a lender. And so I will just kind of steer them. I shouldn't say steer. I hate that word, right? I kind of guide them into a couple of different options, and they can pick who they would like to work with. So
Well,
it's important. It's important to have everybody. It's important to have everybody that's knowledgeable on your side when you're buying a home.
All right. We're with Elizabeth Birch, Gwaltney Group RE/MAX results. We'll take a quick break and return in a moment on News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
We'll be right back with Robin Gwaltney and Andy Brownell on Rochester Real Estate. This is News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.org. Welcome back to Rochester Real Estate with Robin Gwaltney from Gwaltney Group RE/MAX Results and Andy Brownell on Rochester's News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
Thanks for tuning in. News Talk 1340, KROC AM, 96.9 FM, Saturday morning. And it's our Gwaltney Group RE/MAX results program, minus Robin this week. Elizabeth Birch joining us, and we have been talking about the partial government shutdown and why, if you're buying or selling, you shouldn't be too worried about it. But obviously, if you have questions, get a hold of Elizabeth Robin when she gets back, or other member of the Gwaltney Group team. But from what you've told me, it sounds like, other than the USDA-backed loans, things are sailing along pretty well.
Yep, we're still moving along pretty good. Have no fear. If you are currently under contract, there could be a couple delays here and there, but nothing too crazy. So you can sleep at night, guys. Don't worry.
That's always a good thing, sleeping at night.
I know. With so much talk out there, you just never really know. And so it's nice to have a little bit of more of a local take on it.
And having ridden through, oh goodness, I don't know how many of these partial government shutdowns over the years. Right. I've learned to take the headlines with a grain of salt.
Oh yes, you're in broadcasting. I'm sure. I am sure.
Yeah, it's headlines are they're headlines for a reason.
I know. It's hard. They sound scarier than is actually happening. So no fears.
Normally, when Robin's here and we get to this part of the program, I ask her if you have some listings that you could share. And Elizabeth, I imagine you do as well.
Well, I do. Our team actually has 50 properties listed. Now that is including some lots, right? So
Sure.
there's some bare land that we would love to have people who are thinking about building take advantage of. But we we have listings from all the way from Rochester, Stewartville. We have quite a few now in Wabasha, which we also have an office there too. And that's originally, Robin's hometown, which is lovely. And they still live there, which is the cutest ever. We have some in Preston. We have some in Owatonna. We have some in Orinoco, Pine Island, Lake City. We have a new condo project that's kind of taking place too there. So we have a really cute one in Rochester that we just listed. This is in a really sweet spot on the northwest side. We have some of the coolest little areas in Rochester where it's like these acre properties that you don't even know exist until you get out there. I mean, there's still some that I'm finding, and this is what I do for a living, right? And this one is in one of them. The address is 6207 13th Avenue Northwest. This house I think it was built in the 90s. This is not my listing, and I have to double check to make sure. Yeah. Oh no, 86. It was built in 86. 5 beds, 3 baths. It's a split level house, but you guys, it's on 2.5 acres, and it is so well maintained. These sellers did such a beautiful job. Finding acreage with a well-maintained home, like 2.5 acres in Rochester for under $700,000 is pretty extreme and wonderful to see. So definitely schedule a showing for that one if that's the price point that you're looking for. Highly recommend.
An easy drive into town. I mean, you're right there.
Yes. And we have a really cute, almost practically brand new 2024 build over in Stewartville. 2221 Peterson Drive Northwest. That one is a 4-bedroom, 3-bath. Oh, I'm sorry. It was 2023 was built, not 2024. So still 2 years old, right? Really cute option as well. If you're looking for something in a neighborhood that's, easy to get to the schools and all those things. That one's pretty new too. And then I think our newest is over there in Wabasha, and it's 1049 Talon Avenue. $299, priced at $299. So cute. 2 bedrooms, 3 baths, built in 2022. Adorable. So
that's new, very new construction for that.
I know. But if people are looking, hey, I'm thinking about I wanted to build right now. Some builders are, if you can find a spec home right now, some builders are really dropping the prices on those if those are still sitting. So that's definitely an option. But we work with a ton of really high quality builders, and we'd love to get you in front of one of these lots too. We have them throughout Rochester. We have them through Orinoco. So we have a ton of options. If you were thinking about building, definitely get a hold of our team.
Yeah, I've heard that right now building is becoming more of an attractive option because of the competitiveness within that industry. That the builders are, I don't know how to say it, reducing their slice of the pie a little bit.
Yes. Yeah. So I kind of think it's not really, if you were to go and talk to a builder right now and say, hey, I want all this, it's not like they would be completely able to drop their price, right?
Sure.
It goes with materials. But if you find a home that's already been built, brand new home that's already been built, and it's just been sitting for a little while, there's definitely room to negotiate on that too with the builders. They want to get those ones sold, right? They want to open up more credit so they can build some more. So I think those are kind of where you can find the most deals, at least here in Rochester. But building is still a really nice option. And I'm actually working with some clients right now that are building, and it's really fun. It's super fun.
Well, how many chances do you get to, build the home that you want? I mean, I know. And we're talking to, we are kind of seeing where interest rates are hovering now, right around 6. If you have all the right things happening for you, right, you have a great credit score, you have a low, debt to income ratio, all of the things, you possibly could get under 6. And then if you're doing like ARMs, right, you're doing, you're not doing a 30-year. If you have an option to do a 10-year or a 15-year, those are hovering right closer to like 5.4%. So
there's definitely some incentive to kind of maybe get in the game and think about building again.
All right. Well, if somebody does have questions, they want to talk to you about buying, selling, anything dealing with the real estate marketplace, especially here in southeastern Minnesota, how do they get a hold of Elizabeth Birch or anybody with the Gwaltney Group RE/MAX results?
Sure. So we would absolutely love to help you. I would love to help you, but our whole team is amazing. So my cell phone number is 507-202-8485. You can also go to gwaltneygroup.com. That's our website. And we have all of our agent pictures on there. You can kind of stalk us a little bit, see who you think might be a good fit. Or we'd love for you to come in and interview our team. We welcome that. I think that's such a savvy thing to do as a buyer. And I hope that more are doing that, and ask some good questions, to the agent that you're trusting to help buy a brand new home or sell a home. So we'd love to help you. All
right, Elizabeth, thanks for joining us this morning. And look forward to the next time we can chat when Robin's on vacation.
I know, Andy. It's always a fun time. Thanks for having me.
All right. Elizabeth Birch, Gwaltney Group RE/MAX results. Robin's back next week here at News Talk 1340 KROC AM and